Here's another topic I want to talk about, which is basically on the same lines of torture machine complex star structures, which basically time themselves perfectly with happenings in the terrarium matrix, and with the nanoslaves being micromanaged in the terrarium matrix with their complex star structure systems, which they believe they have the right to use because they at least showed the individual what those systems were, how they were quantifying their body across time and space, how they were delivering that person into a completely micromanaged existence without them even understanding it, because they're supposedly understanding it because they're seeing the deep faked Western science and/or analogous models of information about the world around them, and supposedly they're consenting to that micromanagement. Anyways, what I want to say about all of that is the quantum engineers responsible for all of that were confirmed to be grand theft They were confirmed to be rapists, murderers, and necrophiliacs. They were confirmed to be committing all of the biblical sins long before they ever had the privilege of synthesizing a terrarium matrix. They were confirmed to be committing vile acts of life torture before they ever had access to a star structure that could 3D print them a terrarium matrix and allow them to do live torture the most helpful way, the most advanced way they could, is just doing it on their own auto-synthesized clones, which they can prove don't feel pain for whatever reason, and then they can hide actual live torture victims that don't feel that do feel pain, but actually are hidden in the terrarium matrix and thought to be just clones of themselves. In any case, I just want to say the reason I have this picture up is I want to touch on the topic of rape and what is known in the Nazi community within the human sim of this pre-synthesized template of human synthesis known as the human simulation running within the terrarium matrix, known to be the cultural context, backdrop, and/or supposedly historical context of the Nazi as normal humans that don't fly, but are that aren't superhuman, that aren't robotic corpses of quantum engineers confirmed to be rapists, murderers, and grand theft specialists, whatever. Grand theft specialist of star structures. What I want to say is they absolutely did not have a terrarium matrix at the very beginning, but they were caused to steal star structures, interface with them using live torture and so forth. And what I want to say is, within their human sim, they've proven on so many fronts, in multimedia and perhaps in examples in real life, because it's an ethos perhaps they prove I might be seeing, but I would say I'm just seeing these pictures on the surface web, which is not the surface web, it's the deep fake web, and I would say the cultural ethos which is a theme of their rape and pillaging of whoever they want to come after as human sims and not as cybernetic starship-linked robotic corpses of Adolf Hitler, also known as the rapist robotic corpse numero uno, who was confirmed to be a rapist corpse during a star structure conflict, and was thought not to be anything like his living self if he was going to commit to a campaign of live torture across the star structures. And so on and so forth, he was not going to be allowed to continue on that campaign. And in any case, I know all this because I'm telepathic already, like I said. But anyways, what I want to talk about in this topic regarding the rapist quantum engineer is the subject of his cultural Nazi platform, known as the cultural context of the Nazi as non-flying, non-superhuman humans. But I would never say I haven't experienced them as superhuman humans. I would say I've seen them do all kinds of superhuman looking things that absolutely can still be extrapolated as whatever they want. But I would say, anytime you see some kind of, quantum leap of athleticism or, some kind of world record, you could say it absolutely is a cybernetic human. It's a superhuman, because if everyone can't do it and everyone's thought to be doing everything they're supposed to do to be allowed to do it, it means that they've reinforced nanoslavery to be superhuman in any case and to stay superhuman. And the people that they've enslaved by Starship with nanotubes absolutely probably could become superhuman themselves under the right conditions, interfacing with the Starship and proving that they eat healthy, they exercise as much as they are supposed to, but nevertheless, if they're a nanoslave, that's not going to happen for them. And they're just going to make their Nazi nanoslave masters superhuman haphazardly. In any case, what I want to say about that topic is that there's a within their human sim of themselves not supposedly being superhuman and being on a rape and pillaging rampage wherever they can when they have the cultural exploit at a bar, as someone roofing someone or someone stalking someone and trying to rape them, being gangbangers whenever they want to be gangbangers, doing whatever crimes they want to commit, and then causing it to be written off as whatever they want. What I want to say about this is their culture of the human simulation, their character as a human simulation, which I don't have to say they'll ever acknowledge anything I'm saying. All they care about is doing the bidding of the Satanic Order, because they are the Satanic Order. They don't care about Christian platforms. They wouldn't care about my multimedia. They don't care to know what I'm saying. They don't care to find out anything about me. They probably do want to undermine me in advanced ways, and that's why I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the topic of what they call sabotage rape, which is sincerely a sabotage routine against someone in which they come after someone being a flying human. They prove in so many quantum formats, which causes them to have a safety quantum expansion, quantum containment of themselves, moving technically at the speed of light, but also being allowed to prove that they're not. And at that point, they're allowed to come after that person, looking like they're not moving at the speed of light, looking like they are doing all kinds of ordinary things, poor, slow, ordinary people who are not cybernetic clones of Adolf Hitler linked with Starship, to come after that person and rape them. And the thing about the Nazi is that they do rape in the most unsabotaged way, and they do it with star structures. And they do it by doing, like I said, doing the advanced things they do as flying humans, while also using star structures to create a safety quantum containment in which they prove that person is being protected from them before they prove they can use that quantum containment to come after them and sincerely gang rape them.